What do you want me to do? Yeah, you'll see it behind me. Yeah. That would be so helpful, so I don't have to think about that. Get you a chicken scratch.
Let's go.
And we will let y'all know just from holding up like a little sign in the back or whatever to give y'all like 15 minutes warning, and so you can fill questions or anything like that.
That would be really helpful.
Okay?
What's our start mark? To start? Or to start?
So he will actually, it's kind of already queued. Yes, it will go literally at 11 o'clock. It's yep. So I will just kind of say like, okay, ready, set, go, and then we're good.
All right, perfect.
Yep. So it just kind of starts on its little automatic cycle here. I know I will never get used to live streams. I think I'm always going to be geared to never being used to live streams. Ooh, it got quite quick.
Wow.
Oh, everybody's like ready.
Really quiet.
We need like a second dose of coffee now, I think.
No, they won't.
Nah. All right. And I think it's about showtime. Here we go.
Ready to go?
Yep. We are good.
Excellent. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Randie Odebralski. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Good Days. I'm joined with Clorinda Walley, who's the President of Good Days, and Andrea Marcellus, who is the CEO and founder of And Life. We're glad to be here today. When we think about our lives as an advocate, we think of all the challenges and the struggles and the uncertainty that we deal with on a consistent basis. And we fight every day because that's part of our mission and that purpose and passion that makes us who we are, to do the best for who we serve. But sometimes it comes with a cost, right? Sometimes we're fighting for that person or that group or that reasoning that we do what we do, but we take the hit ourselves, right? We struggle sometimes with our confidence, our energy, our emotions. Bottom line, it affects us both physically and mentally, and we forget about that sometimes. So we kind of wanted to do this a little bit different than some of the other sessions that are going to be here at this conference, is because we want to focus on you guys, right? We want to provide some information that's going to allow you guys to take that step back sometimes during the day, during the week, during the month, and focus on yourselves. And learn from Clorinda and Andrea some of the things we're going to cover, some from a global standpoint, from a Good Days perspective, kind of introduce to you what Chronic Disease Day is about, and how that ties into wellness and healthy living. And then turn it over to Andrea for the majority of the presentation today, because she's going to provide those tactics and those tips and those strategies that we can apply rather easily and they're practical. And hopefully we can all benefit from that. But at the end of the day, again, this is about us being the best we can be for the people we want to take care of. And if we're not best for ourselves, sometimes that doesn't happen. So with that, I'll turn it over to Clorinda to provide an overview on Chronic Disease Day.
So Good Days kind of came up with Chronic Disease Day several years ago as we were looking to determine how can we better help people. And so, what are people struggling with? And so when reviewing the CDC website, I found that 7 out of the top 10 deaths in this country are due to chronic disease. The crazy part about that is the majority of those are preventable. So the top 7 deaths in this country, preventable. And so then I started looking at it. We also, 3 out of every $4 spent on healthcare isn't for these high-cost biologics. It's for preventable disease. So 90% of the healthcare spend is on things that are preventable, things that we can do to prevent things coming. And so we decided we wanted to create an advocacy day, now it's turned into a week, just to bring awareness to these things, to see what can we do as individuals to change that number? What can we do as a community to change that number? The 2 biggest factors we found were diet and exercise. I have an autoimmune disease and took steroids for many years, which caused bone loss, like 20% bone loss. So I go to the doctor and he's like, the only thing that is going to, for you to get that bone, remove the bone loss, or at least, get back to about 95% is strength training. And so all that means like resistance bands, those types of things. So I found that even with an illness that is not preventable, diet and exercise really modified and changed my outcomes. And so we wanted to bring Andrea here to talk to us about, ways that we can get there. Simple things that we can do every day, simple modifications that we can do to become part of our regular routine that will not only, again, make us physically healthier, but reduce stress and anxiety, and even helps with depression. One of the things we also did is, we found we can't do this alone. So we've partnered with some of the largest advocacy organizations in the country to continue to promote Chronic Disease Day and the things that we can do as a community to create a healthier community. So I'm going to turn it over here to Andrea to teach us about that.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So, hi, I'm Andrea Marcellus. I'm the CEO of And Life, and my mission is to help people maximize their lives and preserve and cultivate more of their three most precious personal resources, which I consider to be time, energy, and funds. And I was really, really excited to be invited here with Good Days because, as Clorinda said, and as you well know, you're on the front lines of this. So much of our work with patients is over illnesses and disease that is preventable. And you being on the front line of that have a very, very important role. And so your own well-being is critical to their well-being. And I'm just going to step back and talk to you about the way I work with people, and where I've come to is a small ways every day kind of strategy. And I will back this up to, I've been in fitness for 30 years, totally by accident. I went to NYU, I was supposed to be a star, I was not supposed to be doing this. This was a sideline. And it was interesting, the first 16 years of my career in fitness, I did everything you and everybody else in this room thinks they need to do to be super fit. And I did the calorie counting and the grueling workouts and the food elimination and all the stuff. And I ended up kind of grumpy, tired, chronically exhausted, unhappy, going up and down. At one point, I weighed 25 pounds more than I do now. I mean, it was incredible. And there I was at 33. I had a celebrity client, and I remember staring at the wall going, doing this calories in, calories out equation for him and thinking, oh my God, I've got to make this work for him. And I was going, this doesn't work. And it's not worked for me. It's not working for anybody I know. Everybody can kind of get somewhere, but they're white knuckling it. We've got to try a different way. So I guinea pigged myself doing basically the opposite. Exercising less, eating all the foods, just creating a strategy. And I shrunk, and my clients that would do this and give up kind of, the Nike ad messaging of what you need to do, they shrunk. And so I've made And Life, and I made a book and an app, and I have all sorts of things. Where this relates to you is that my specialty is creating methods that fit into your schedule without adding on. And my hope here is to give you some small strategies to level up both physically and mentally, that when you see the effect of them, you will pass that on to your colleagues, to your patients, to their caretakers who need the energy, and hopefully we will create this ripple effect of well-being in a country that really needs it desperately. So so that was the one big aha, that less is more in my career. And the second big aha happened during the pandemic, when I, like a lot of people, started to experience anxiety tremendously. And I am not an anxious person. Like, it does not happen. And I started to go, oh, this is what a panic attack feels like. Oh, like, okay. So I started to approach the brain the way I had approached the body, and studied that. And I've come to really, really understand how stress impacts us mentally, and then how that affects us physically. So we're going to talk a lot about hormones today. Hormones, we seem to be all women here. There are men watching, and there's Randie. Hormones are not a girl thing. We're going to be talking about your stress hormones today. We're going to be talking about hunger and satiety hormones, and we're going to also be talking about your happy hormones today. So basically, this is going to be a quick primer on hormones and some strategies to help you level up quickly, okay? So let's go, we can go to this one. Oh, great. All right, Stress 101, what's happening to us? So you guys have high pressure jobs, you know. It's a chronic intensity. It's not that you can't handle it, but there is a chronic intensity to your life. That lights up the amygdala in your brain. This is the fear and anxiety center, right? It's lit up by one of two things, either scarcity or threat. Scarcity used to be in like cave people times, let's say, oh, there's not enough berries on this bush anymore, let's move the tribe. And threat used to be like, okay, that's a lion coming at me, I better run. What happens is the brain releases adrenaline and cortisol. The adrenaline, you know, if it would give you energy to move the tribe or to run from the lion, right? And the cortisol would slow down your digestive processes, these sorts of things, so that your arms and legs can move, right? In this day and age, that's not the case. Scarcity is I don't have enough time, I don't have enough energy, or I don't have enough money. Those are our three biggest concerns, right? Or if you're dieting, I'm not going to be able to have the foods I want. This is why diets create stress and they work against themselves, right? Everybody knows that. And then threat is going to tend to be, I don't know enough, I'm going to look stupid, I'm going to fail, and all of that goes down this shame cycle. And everybody here knows that. So this is what we're dealing with, and those are coming at us all the time. When we have extra adrenaline and cortisol, they affect us adversely. So the adrenaline makes us make short-term decisions to make ourselves more comfortable in the moment. So when you get that email that just added another pile on your to-do list, you get really uncomfortable. What we will tend to do is make a decision, like I'm going to just sit here eating M&Ms for a second while I figure out what I want to do, because that chocolate is giving you an instant hit of dopamine. You're getting more comfortable in that moment, but that went against your long-term goal of being a healthy person, and you know it, but you kind of can't stop yourself from doing it. Not your fault. The cortisol is slowing this down, so when we do things like food soothe, or we just sit there just kind of watching Netflix a lot, you know, and not moving our body, or we make some of these short-term decisions that are relaxing for us. This is self-care ends up being a lot of kind of sitting around or soothing. Then that, of course, goes against our long-term goals of being more fit and healthy, even though we intend to. You know, you intended to do that little workout today, and you got home and you're just exhausted. I mean, I feel this too. I'm speaking to you as the fitness professional. It is my job. But I'm running a corporation, I have kids, there's pets, there's a husband somewhere out there. Like, I mean, you know, I'm in the same boat, and you just want to go, oh, so what do we do? How do we motivate ourselves? Well, we have some things to help us. We have positive brain centers and our vagus nerve. They're always there, so we're going to find out how to access them quickly, and we have 4 happy hormones. So the activities I'm going to teach you today are either doing this, or both, all at the same time, okay? So your positive brain centers, I'll get into this a little more as we do the activities. The vagus nerve, I like to talk about this. You're hearing more about this. This is the longest nerve in your body, from your brain stem all the way down to your gut. When you have a gut feeling about something and you feel that feeling in the pit of your gut, that's for real. Like, that's happening. You're not wrong. And my favorite is the deep sigh. You know, when you just kind of find yourself, you're finally relaxed, like you were running to get the plane and you're on the plane, okay, you're there, and then like out of nowhere, you just kind of go, that's your vagus nerve. That's the part connected to your lungs trying to help you out, trying to bring you down a notch. My mother-in-law is the queen of this. She always walks around, you know, with a that one. And it used to be really annoying until I realized, I was like, oh God, Joe, and my husband, I was like, she's actually finding this that stressful that her body is like trying to help her unwind as she survives this weekend with us. I'm like, go give your mom a hug. Help this woman out. So the vagus nerve is awesome. It will jump in to help us. So we're going to learn how to activate these things. And you have these 4 happy hormones. We get endorphins from exercise. Everybody knows this, right? It doesn't take that much, and you're going to experience it today. Dopamine, we get this from achievement. Do you know how you make a to-do list? And then you always add a couple things on the to-do list you've already done and you cross it out right away. It's because it releases dopamine. That's why we all do that. I'm going to show you how to, get at that right away. Serotonin's from connection. Okay, see, we're already connected. They're smiling. It's like, I've already told you the truth about yourself, and you're like, I recognize that. Great. We're connected. We all have serotonin flowing now. We're going to have a great time, and you're trusting me that I know what I'm talking about. Everybody's calm. It's good. And oxytocin, if we get to be besties and we start hugging at the end of this, forget COVID. But then, that's going to release oxytocin. So anytime in your day, you can get extra hugs from friends, family, your pets, all that connection. You're releasing happy hormones, and that will help keep you balanced. Okay, so should we get into some of these great strategies? All right. This I'm going to go over kind of at the end, and this will be our recap. You can see kind of where we're headed today. But the first thing I want to really talk about is one of my life strategies I call practicing personal authenticity. So this is the number one thing you can do for yourself. Personal authenticity means knowing who you are, but also more importantly, knowing who you're not. And this helps you create a little lean life. I gave everybody a little sheet, which you'll get to, and it's awesome and it's going to be helpful. Flip it over on the back. If you have a pen, I want you to do yourself a little favor right now. Write the words I am and draw a line, and then give yourself some space, and then underneath it, write I am not, and draw another line. And think about this for a second. I'm going to cheat sheet you here for the purpose of this and tell you what mine are. So my I am is I am driven to make a huge impact by sharing what I know. And that can be good or bad. My husband is like, why can you never do anything easy? I just can't. I just don't. And there you go. And my I am not is I'm not a soccer mom, and that was really hard to embrace. There's a lot of judgment. I don't know if any of you have kids, and in preschool, there's a lot of preschool judgment. It's like they don't think people have a job anymore. I don't know. My parents were not involved in my life like that. But it was hard for me to go, okay, I'm at my best when I'm really contributing at work, and I feel really good about what I'm doing, and that's the person I bring to my kids, and I've had to really wrap my arms around that. So what is your I am and what is your I am not? Or if you don't have it yet, think about it today. But I promise you this, between the I am and the I am not is your lane in life. If you stay in that lane and you honor that and you don't let people pull you down into a place you're not, for me, I don't get guilted into the school activities I don't want to do. I don't want to do that with my time. I want to spend my time with my kids, just me and my kid, not their whole class and stuff. That's who I am. And if I stay in this lane, I'm at my best and I'm bringing my best. I promise you. So try this just for 1 week. What this does is it economizes your time. We are all at a loss for time to take care of ourselves. I'm going to buy you more time. You're going to buy yourself more time by staying in that lane and by honoring what makes you happiest, who you are, what is most fulfilling for you, right? And by making sure you're not pulled into areas with your time that are not the most fulfilling for you. It's really okay. Stay right here, and that's going to buy you the time to take care of yourself in the other ways that we're talking about today. Okay, the second strategy, rule of awesome. This one is going to change your life right now, like today at lunch and, when you go home to your closet and everywhere else. This is spoiler alert. My second book's going to be about this. This is my top strategy. I'm making sure I have your attention. It's that good. Okay, the rule of awesome is very simple. It goes like this. If it's not awesome, don't do it. Sounds really flip and trite. It's not. Think about it this way. Okay, so you're going to lunch today, and there's going to be a buffet of brownies and cookies and all sorts of things. Take a bite. If it is not an awesome brownie, if it does not light your soul, just finish the bite and chuck the rest and go try something else. Because in a year, you will save yourself so many calories, but it's not about the calories. What this is that every little decision we make, every choice we make is a signal to ourselves about our own worth.
That's good. That's true.
100%. If you start making a habit of being discerning about your choices, whether it's the brownie, whether it's what you do with your time, whether it's the clothes you put on your body, we're going to talk about that right now, you will start to level yourself up. You will start to build greater self-confidence and greater self-respect. That will have a ripple effect. How you feel about yourself generates energy and puts it out there. So let's talk about your clothing, your wardrobe. Go home and go to your closet. Please. Go through, put everything on, and here is the criteria. Not do I look awesome? That's not it. Does this generate energy? Do I feel energized wearing this? Does this represent who I know I am, calm and capable on the inside, right? If it does not, fold that up and give it away, because that will give you dopamine. Or box it up if you really can't give it away, but don't have it in front of you. Make your closet about color and shape. That's it. There should be nothing. Every time we pull through and we go, oh, if I lost 5 pounds, oh, when I fix those buttons, you're never fixing the button. Like, don't have that. Just toss it. You know what I mean? But think about this. Those choices in the day, if you start your day every day with all the, I feel bad about myself, that's the energy you're going to put forward. So let's start right there. The first decision in the day is, what color am I wearing? Not white knuckling it through your own closet. Okay? Self-respect, self-respect. Third, strategize your habits. Now, this is the whole key to my approach to weight loss for people in fitness. But in this setting, this is a really, really big one. The paradox of choice is this. The more choices we have, the higher our stress level. So when you don't know what to eat for lunch, because you're thinking about, I do want to lose that 5 pounds, but oh my God, that chicken parm sandwich looks really good, but oh, what do you have over there? Or you just don't know, and so you skip it, whatever. These are stressful things. This is adding stress. And so if you can get really good about eliminating little micro decisions like that, things that aren't highly consequential, but they do add a question mark on your day. We don't need more question marks. Our brains are overloaded. Our prefrontal cortex was literally not designed for the amount of information that comes at us in a day. Just scrolling Instagram for 5 minutes is too much info, right? And that info creates questions, and we don't have the answers to those questions. So then what does that do? It lights up that amygdala. We get nervous, and we got to go look for the answers, or we think we're blah, blah, blah. We spin. Okay, so my suggestion is optimize the meals you don't share. Optimize the meals you don't share with other people so that your social meals, you can do whatever you want. My program goes into this in depth. We're not doing that today, but this is a great little tip. Think, you already only eat 2 breakfasts. You alternate between 2 things. If you optimize those, learn a little bit, I have tons of free resources, you are that much further ahead. Get your nutrition in there, right? And then know that, and you get that dopamine hit from that. So what is the question? What is the most important meal of the day for your overall health and well-being? Anyone? A guess? Breakfast is your answer, right? Is that what everybody thought in their head? By the way, if I was here, I'd be in that very back row like this. I don't know. I can stand in front of people and talk, but if I'm in a group, I'm like the little shrinking violet. It's very weird. And if you call on me, my heart will pound. It's bad. So I empathize.
I think the most important one for me is the one I share with my family.
I love that answer, because that is a serotonin answer and oxytocin answer, and that's really great. In terms of the health and well-being, I like that. I never thought of that. That's a good one. I've learned something today. But where I'm headed is your afternoon snack. We think it's breakfast, but I have helped people be fitter, lose more weight, and feel better with their afternoon snack than any other meal by optimizing that. So I gave you this snack sheet, the superfood snack sheet. What happens is we have a huge dip in our energy level in the end of the day, and you might go grab some M&Ms or something like that, your extra coffee, that kind of a thing. And we'd love some alternatives to that, because what it does is it ups your energy in a really good sustained way for the evening. Why is this important? Work-life balance. You have tons of energy in the morning, you're bringing that to your work. Burnout comes from a lack of energy for your personal time and a lack of clarity about your personal goals and what's fulfilling to you. What do we have energy for? We're going to talk about this more. I have a session tomorrow. We're going to get more into that. But to help you fuel your personal time, to help you be able to go to the end of your day, the time with your family or the time for yourself with the same energy you have for work, let's make sure you have a really optimized superfood afternoon snack. On that handout, I've told you kind of what a superfood is. I'm not going to, review it with you today, but I've also told you where you can follow me, find me, and I have an app with all of those recipes. By the way, I use recipe in quotes. I am a busy woman. I'm completely self-taught. I throw highly nutritious foods together. I call them tossed-together foods. This is the extent of cooking in my world, okay? It is for busy people like us, I promise you. So if you're really chefy, my app is not going to make you happy. This is for people who really want nutrition they don't have to think about super, super fast. But that's free for you for 30 days. That's the only way I can do it with Apple. I can't, so you would have to cancel to go and look at it. There's nothing I can do about that. We are not trying to sell anything here. But please just go grab some recipes, screenshot them, cancel the subscription if you want, but that's my gift to you. Those are some great ideas and things that you can bring to work too. A lot of those travel really well. Strategize habits. Okay, ready? So here's the thing we're going to do. We're going to do two things to kind of, we'll do one and then the other. Okay, oppositional stability. This is a technique, a stress management technique. There are many, many forms of it. It's based on a Pilates concept where to bend to the right, I actually have to pull my body to the left to make myself stable. So stand up wherever you're at here, because this is kind of a fun little thing. Give yourself a little space. We have plenty of room, so. And just try this for a second. So stand with your feet straight on your hips and just bend to the right, or whichever way you want to go. And you'll find there's a point where you're going to teeter. Now, do me a favor, same thing. Before you bend to the right this time, pull your arm out to the left, the opposite side, and now come over, but pull that opposite rib the other way. Look at how far you can go. Because we've created a different center point. So this is a technique in, you can have a seat for a second. This is a technique for when you're feeling criticized or when people are coming at you with something you disagree with. If you lean in towards the disagreement, if you agree with everything you can, you do not have to do this out loud, it can be in your own heart, but agree with everything you possibly can. It brings you to a center ground. How does it do that? You generate empathy for the other person. It puts your brain with your positive, it activates your prefrontal cortex, it activates your hippocampus. It activates your cerebellum. And by creating empathy with the other person, we have a solid ground from which to operate from. And you will probably do better. People mirror each other. They will start to feel your empathy. It will immediately de-escalate the situation at least a bit. And you can either agree to disagree and walk away for the moment, or you might be able to get to a resolution quicker. But I'd like to teach you is what to do for yourself when you're triggered. So everybody stand up and find something where you can kind of balance, walk around the table, the chair, something like that. Now, I want you to just stand there a second and just think to yourself, every one of you had something super annoying happen right before you left for this trip, or during the trip or whatever, something super annoying going on in your life. It's waiting for you when you get back, or it's just a chronically annoying thing. How nice of me to bring up the annoying thing you have run away from at this conference. Okay, so once you get yourself nice and annoyed, I want you to just stand here and you're going to kind of put your knees together and hold on for a little bit of balance if you can, gently. You're going to deepen your abdominals. I want you to roll your shoulders back and down. Your shoulder blades are sliding down the back. Try to have some posture. And what I want you to do is just pull your heel up towards your tush and hold it there. And then we're going to exhale down on 4 counts. Let's go 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll just inhale up and exhale down. 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're used to exercise, you might try to balance a little more. Get your hands to be really light on that chair and exhale down. 4, 3, 2, 1. And one more time, please. Inhale up. Slowly exhale down. Try to balance. We're going to switch the other leg. And we're going to switch our breathing. So let's inhale up 4 counts. Here we go. It's going to be 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down 1 count. Inhale up slow. It's hard to inhale slow, isn't it? And exhale down. And 2 more, please. Inhale up. And down. I'm doing this in heels. How about you? Randie is. And down. And now rest. Okay. Have a seat. And check in. How's that annoying thing? You forgot it, or it doesn't seem as big. It's smaller. What you just did was activated your cerebellum, your prefrontal cortex, and your hippocampus for your body to accomplish a balanced move with a coordinated move plus breath. You activated those brain centers. Guess what can't be happening when you're activating those brain centers? Your amygdala can't be happening. Your brain cannot multitask. So this is a powerful, powerful short circuit. I give this to people who have flight anxiety. You can stand there with your suitcase and you're waiting and just move your leg, move your whatever. But it's just any kind of a balance, movement, and your breath. You're just taking yourself inward. Meditation techniques and therapy are often suggested to help us de-stress, right? But they're just not. What are you going to do in the middle of the day when you get that email or that text that like has you totally triggered? Nobody's therapist is on speed dial. What are you going to do? You're not going to bust out the Calm app and go find a broom closet somewhere and you're just not doing it. But this is something where, between a Zoom call, you can totally do that. Here's the other thing you can do. It's called a moving meditation. So in your chair, just give yourself a little space. If you're in a skirt, I'm going to give you I see some skirts, so I do this a lot. Have no fear in all outfits. So you're sitting in your chair. Okay, everybody, from here, let's just take one arm up and then just, gently bend over, nothing too much. And I just want you to feel these ribs. And all you're going to do is take a breath. And you're going to stretch yourself from the inside out using your lungs. Ready? Here we go. Big breath, space between that bottom rib, the top of the hip, and exhale. Switch to the other side. Here we go. Reaching up. And big breath. Stretch from the inside out. Exhale. Again, other side. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Give me your ankle across your knee. Skirt right here like this. Ready? All you need to do is just pull yourself forward. You can do it this way too. It's going to have the same effect. You're just bringing your chest forward, and we're going to round the back. A flexible spine leads to a flexible mind. Whenever you're feeling really tight or mentally, just try to move your spine. Hips get super tight because of trauma, life trauma. Yoga philosophy believes we hold life trauma in our hips, but just from sitting all day and moving back and forth. Switch your legs. You notice we keep moving here. We're not worn. Nobody just was walking around, the heart rate wasn't up, so you can't just hold a stretch. You might tear something or create a bigger problem than the one you're trying to solve. So we just move back and forth and back and forth. And then last time. Good. And give that a rest. Excellent. Last one right here. Take your hands back behind you. I'll do it this way, but just behind you on the chair. You're going to inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. This is a modified camel pose from yoga. Anything that opens your heart to the sun, theoretically, right, generates energy. You feel more energized. And exhale. And last one, we're going to do two things. Remember all these moves, right? Here we go. Wherever you're at, you're just going to stand up, take your hands back, draw the elbows back, reach back up, and lower down. Good. We're going to do that 5 times. It's not going to take much. It's going to be inhale up, elbows back, up and down. We're taking the elbows back because we're stretching the chest. Anything that stretches the chest will actually release the back of the neck, which we all need to because we're looking down at our phones and laptops all the time. Up, up, and connect that breath, right, up and down. One more, please. Here we go. Up, stay up. Last move. This is the money move. If you remember one move from this one. Ready? Step back, pull your heel down, and then that same arm as the leg, reach up. You're going to feel a whole stretch through the front of the body. Why are we doing this? It undoes the tightness caused by sitting and also instantly energizing. Back again, connect your breath. Here we go. Let's go 4 more. Inhale and exhale. Hang on to a desk if you need to. Inhale, exhale. You're going to start to feel a huge difference between this side and your other side. 2 more, please. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. Exhale. Feel that difference. Switch sides. I'm going to make you even. Here we go. This is what I used to do. Based on the layout of the gym I used to take my private clients to, I would demonstrate things too much on one side. I was really uneven. Occupational hazard. What am I putting my heel into? Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 1 more, please. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And now, come on down and rest. Now, I want you to just check in. What you notice now. You feel how you feel like a vibration. You feel a frequency that's gone up inside of you, right? You feel that energy. That's the oxygenation. We weren't going nuts with some big exercise thing, but endorphins were released. Dopamine because I asked you to do something, you achieved it. You feel good. Your body is oxygenated, but also your brain. And once your brain is oxygenated, what happens? You're able to focus. So those 2 things. We short-circuited stress with this one, and this one, we created energy. So in the middle of that afternoon, now you can generate some energy for yourself anytime you're kind of feeling that slump. You can short-circuit stress anytime you kind of need to. And we know now we're going to have some sort of power snack that's going to be really meaningful to set us forward in our day to really help us out. Okay? So we'll go to the last of the strategies, which is called allowing the extraordinary. And this strategy is really important. Everything else I've taught you about today is about generating energy. Life is about energy, right? And the energy you have, not just for your the patients you're advocating for, their families, your role in that, but the energy for yourself so that you have more. It's a cycle we're trying to create here, right? Motivation is driven by purpose. Energy is driven by purpose. I will talk about that more tomorrow, but everything is about making sure that you have a clear purpose beyond your work so that you can always be motivated and always generating energy, that big, big why. So the really important keys to keeping stress from deeply affecting you and bringing you down and weighing down your health, weighing down your ability to participate in your own life. 1, brain training strategies, things like this. I'm going to do 1 more at the very end of this just to set you up for your day. Brain training strategies, strategizing your habits with your nutrition, right, your meals. Finding ways to get exercise in. This moving meditation, 2 birds with 1 stone. We worked on flexibility. We worked on oxygenating your body. Even if you can't get a workout in a day, you can leave some weights at your desk. I have on that app you're going to go look at tons of workouts in plain clothes at your desk. I am the 30-year fitness professional that some days that's all I have. That's all I have time for. They work. Taking a walk and just regular strength training in small doses, small bursts, it works, and I'm going to show you one right now at the end of this. And it's just really just that, starting to think about who I am, what I'm trying to do, and trying to make sure that you take care of yourself in small ways throughout the day, rather than thinking of, self-care as something outside of your day, incorporating it in with your workday. So if we get to what I call the self-care scaffolding, we have that energy generation from those moving workouts. I'm going to do this one for you right now. Here's the big thing. All of these things. We triggered that stress. Anxiety energy is just energy. What did we do? We shifted it into positive energy just by activating those positive brain centers. This one I'm going to talk to you right now, ritualizing your habits and the nutritional care, your superfoods, your afternoon snack strategy. Here's a good one. The last two things I'm going to leave you with. A quick way to activate those positive brain centers that doesn't add on to your schedule is just to bring mindfulness to something you already do all the time. The word mindfulness gets thrown around so much, I never use it. I hate it because nobody knows what it is. But let's think of it this way. Activating your senses. So I have two practices. I have to water these plants outside. I'm in Los Angeles, and if I do not water them every day, they will die within days. I don't know what's going to happen by the time I get back from this trip because my son is supposed to do it, but he has Fortnite to play with his friends, so I don't know if it's going to happen. So we'll see. But when I water my plants, that is time that the only thing I do is water those plants. I have a special pitcher. I listen to the sound of the water going in the pitcher. I know every single plant. I try to pay special attention to each plant. I feel the leaves, I see whatever, it's tactile. Why? I'm activating my brain centers, doing something I need to do anyway. And I don't allow my mind to wander. I practice coming back to it each time. If thoughts come into my head, I practice going back to the plant. It's practicing focus, practicing mindfulness. This will bleed over into your time with friends and family. It's super important, where you might be at the dinner table, but your mind might be wandering to what happened during the day. Practices like this help prevent your mind from wandering when you're on your personal time, and it's so important to being fulfilled. The second one is my Keurig coffee. I like sounds, and there's so many sounds with your Keurig if you actually notice it. So, and it takes about 90 seconds. It actually takes a long time to make a Keurig. Like I'm that impatient, right? But I make myself just listen to all the sounds. And it's a way of, again, like a meditation for non-meditators, a way to activate your prefrontal cortex using sound. And what can't be going on when I'm paying attention to my Keurig or the gurgling of the machine being made? I can't be worrying about something, an instant way to shut that off, right? So you have things. A lot of my clients use brushing their teeth, whatever it is, but just ritualize some of the habits in your life. And here's the last one, the still workouts. Okay, here's the last thing I'm going to give you today. This is going to generate a ton of energy. You're going to be a little mad at me, but not much. Here we go. So, come to your chair, and I'm going to have everybody just come slightly off your chair. So just about to here. Even if you have knee issues, this should not be a problem. If it is, raise your hand, I'll help. Everybody should be okay. Okay, so nobody is happy here. This is life, right here. This is life. And now I want you to take one arm up. Pull your stomach in, please. The other arm up. Try not to hunch your shoulders. We're trying to keep that space between the ears. Now everybody's really unhappy. This is life right here. And just when you think you can't take any more, I'm just going to have you put your hands back like this. Now it's worse. This is exactly what life does. It just piles it on. But notice, this is the opportunity for your brain. You're trusting me. You're telling your body you've got it. Don't let your face do anything. Just breathe. Just breathe in this position. Let's put the hands back up. Are you kidding me? Will this lady ever stop talking? Does she not know I did a workout yesterday? I'm tired. No, she's going to keep going because this is what life is. But guess what? You've got this. And this is the opportunity to teach your brain not to over-respond. Okay, everybody have a seat. Relax. Okay, 3 things that just happened here. 1, our heart rate got up really fast. Do you feel it's a cardio thing? We weren't running, we weren't jumping, we weren't doing anything. You all have time at your day, at your desk. This is chair pose from yoga. I just snuck you into it differently. Any isometric thing, a plank against your desk. Right? Any isometric fold. I can just hold a plie, goddess pose. 1,000 things, right? Just for a minute or 2. You feel that heart rate up? Cardio work without moving. Secondly, most importantly, To your brain, stress is stress. It doesn't matter whether it's physical stress or whether it's emotional stress or circumstantial stress. It doesn't matter at all. Your brain has that same response, adrenaline and cortisol. It wants to protect you. Those aren't bad things. They're designed to protect. We just have too much of it. By using these activities, what I call still workout, it's an isometric contraction. We're just holding. And by accepting discomfort, we teach ourselves to be okay with discomfort. We train our brain, dude, I got it. Stop. I don't need your help. I'm so okay. I'm just uncomfortable. It's not a tragedy. I can end this at any time. And that's life. That will translate into your life, where when things come at you, when your to-do list gets piled on, when something's really tragic with one of your family, your patients, or even in your own life, you're going to be able to roll with it without such a response. That is not only going to make that event easier for you and make it so that you can handle those things more graciously, it's going to level up your overall health because you're not having so much adrenaline and cortisol floating around. And the last little piece of this is new science. I'm not super well versed in this yet, but deep in my heart, because my father has Alzheimer's, I'm always working on my stress level because diseases like this seem to run in my family, even though they say they're not genetic, we'll see. But cortisol latches on to the hippocampus. That's the memory center. And they knew the connection between Alzheimer's and diseases of that nature and stress. But yesterday was the first day I actually read a study about what happens or why. So this is super important, getting hold of the stress level. And I really hope that the strategies I've given you today and this opportunity from Good Days and Chronic Disease Day, this awareness of how in control we are of these factors. Actually, I hate that. We're not in control of anything. We all know that. But we can be in charge. We're in charge of ourselves. And if you can employ some of these strategies, I guarantee, just rule of awesome today, you're going to feel better. And please share them. Please then take them out, tell other people, you're going to feel better, and please share them, and let's all be part of this ripple effect of, making everybody feel better, both physically and mentally. Yeah. So, thank you.
Any questions from anyone?
That's what I would do. I would not ask a question. I would have a question, I'd wait for the end, and then I would go up to the person myself.
How did you go from the traditional working out and diet, like you started talking about, to simplifying things, right? So because not to plug you, but if you watch your videos on social media and stuff, and look at your resources, it's pretty basic, right?
It seems that way.
And you seem to have fun doing it.
Love
right?
it.
And
who wouldn't? I have more time.
but it's effective, right? To
super effective. It was a leap of faith. Honestly, imagine I was doing probably 45 minutes to an hour of cardio on top of training my clients, on top of eating right. And it was so lame. And I promise you, it was the stress level that was part of that, and the exhaustion, the overtraining. It is a leap of faith. It really, really is. But the program is a strategy. We're activating your life with more standing and walking, a standing desk. Game changer, simple things. It's strategizing the meals I don't share. It's not counting calories I measure with hands. This is a breakfast. This is a mid-morning snack. This is a lunch. This is simplifying, and so that you learn about your own body. It's about not following a one-size-fits-all approach. It's about finding out what works best for you, how you feel your best. Some of these strategies I gave you are going to work for you and not for you, and that's ideal.
What's important is to not put yourself in a cookie cutter box.
100%.
I crack up when I go to the first time I went to my PCP 5 years ago. He was like, "Oh, you're morbidly obese." I'm like, "I've lost 250 pounds. I feel great. I might still look on the charts morbidly obese, but I've maintained my weight for 11 years.
First of all,
So,
awesome.
like,
That's amazing.
And that's not but people put you in a box and they'll say, don't eat gluten, don't do this, don't do that. I literally eat every 3 hours. There's snacks in my bags. It doesn't matter what's offered. And I don't mix fat and carbs. For me, that works because it's 2 fuels and I cannot not gain weight if I'm eating 2 fuels. So that's just me. And I'm not going to do CrossFit 6 days a week at 51 years of age. So I did it 10 years ago and almost smashed my face into a box, and that was enough. So I agree with you. And it's not, I feel like there's all these, and I'm not saying don't get caught in a fad, but there's all these fads out there. And there's what you taught, there was nothing unhealthy about what you taught.
Right.
Like you can do the whole, the big thing now is the keto diet. Well, as a type 2 diet controlled diabetic, I can tell you how dangerous that is for you.
Yeah.
But, and all the chemicals that they put in those foods to make, you know what I mean? But if you're doing the natural healthy stuff. And so part of me wanted to listen to what you had to say, because I look at that and I look at what my clients look at as what's healthy, what's the trend, and I loved what you had everything absolutely lined up medically.
Yes.
And you didn't put everybody in a box.
No, and that's my whole process. That is my process, is helping each individual find out what works for them.
And
that's
my favorite
literally
thing
what
is
it
take a bite.
Yeah.
Because I love brownies, but not all brownies are the same.
They are not!
And if I'm going to put 350 calories in my body, it's not about the calories. It's about, do they taste freaking amazing?
That's right.
So,
it's super important.
It's so true. It's so true. And we're in this world of it's not okay to throw it away because somebody in China is starving. My poor mother, she ruined my life with that. And I'm like, I can't do anything about people in China with the food right in front of me. I just can't.
Well, and it's super important because food bonds us. You know, we have our family foods, our traditional foods at holidays and things like that, birthday cake, like food bonds us. We don't want to eliminate that because it separates us from each other. And in this time, we've just overcome the greatest disconnection in modern history. You know, we certainly don't need to add to it with food. Oh, no, I can't eat that. Or I'm coming to the party with my own food and my own Tupperware. Like, who are you? Like, that's
well, sometimes I do
it's
that.
no good. No, but that's, you know, if you're...
But when I do it, I'm bringing whatever to share.
Yeah,
like I'm bringing something I know.
I'm in LA, so everything's a little extreme.
Exactly. Like if you have allergies or if you don't eat certain
Different
foods,
deal.
like I bring food, but I bring enough for me to eat, so I know there's something I can eat that I want to eat that fuels my body the way I want to, but I'm sharing it so nobody feels like, oh, she's different, you know.
Yeah, no, and that's just it. I'm just saying that I like people to make friends with food and not feel like take away the good and bad. Every time we label food as good or bad, you inherently judge yourself as good or bad when you eat it. We've got to stop that. Like these are the little messages that chip away at our soul. It's the same thing with your closet. Like no good or bad with food. It's either beneficial or it's less beneficial or not beneficial. But on the right day, I will absolutely eat a flaming hot Cheeto. Yes.
My son will challenge you on that.
Right?
Takis.
Oh, I know. I said
I love
that we did the taste test and the Takis versus the flaming hot Cheeto. I can't tell you how many of those I eat. They're so bad.
The Takis are so bad for you that they are so. My mouth is
horrible.
watering right now.
I had to just not look at the label.
But one of the things where you say like the awesome, take one bite.
Right.
It's not awesome. The other thing is, and I'm trying to teach my 14-year-old to recognize this, my 24-year-old now recognizes it. It's not just about does it taste awesome, but how did it make you feel after?
100%.
If you keep going to the same restaurant and getting the wings and then feeling like crap,
Why are you doing
an hour later, the next time you go, remember that. Don't order that again. Because if every time you eat it, it makes you feel like garbage, was it worth eating it?
Yes.
Because we as human beings keep doing that to ourselves.
Right. And it's
where we eat the whole bag of chips, knowing that we're going to feel like garbage.
And the problem is the logic is the logic is there, but when we're in that moment, that stress moment, we can't. So we have to have some strategies in place to help us shift that behavior. I do it with portions with people, getting them to eat portions on a schedule, so that your stomach literally like non-surgically shrinks. Like you just can't overeat things. But also, if you take the foods, I'm telling you, the meals you don't share, and you eat the superfood way, right? Like you just optimize it, the things you're eating, you lose your taste for salt and sugar.
Yeah.
So that protects you as well, because like
it's addiction.
You can't overeat those things. And I'm doing that with my son with sugar, like, and that he feels very badly, and he's getting it. So I agree with you 100%, like trying to create that awareness. Yeah.
Thinking about these methods.
Yeah.
How would you best incorporate some of those things? Say, I'm sure a lot of people or everyone in this room knows what it's like to be on a frustrating phone call with a hospital or something like that. You feel yourself getting angry.
Can I still listen and stand up and raise my foot?
Yeah. What would be a good way to kind of bring that down while you're on the phone call so you can still be productive?
That's the oppositional stability technique I kind of touched on. If you go on my YouTube, I'm pretty sure there's a video on it. This is in a life lift course I have, or you could find me and I will like shoot you a link to videos I've done on this. I talk on this subject a lot, but that's the one where I just kind of said it for a second. You're hearing the person and they're whatever the problem is. Okay. I was being trolled so badly last week on Facebook. It happened to me, and I'm very sensitive to that. Like, I believe in what I'm doing. I'm very sensitive. I'm just a mom. Like, I don't like social media. And I was getting the crap beat out of me by these people that don't know anything. And like, okay, so what I had to do, that just got me going, oh, what do they know? What, does he have a smoothie shop? Why is he like all over me? Fructose, we don't digest it. Why are you telling me we do? Like, blah, blah, blah. And then instead I went, wait a minute, maybe this guy is actually a trainer, that this is all he knows, and this is flying in the face. Maybe this is making him really upset. He's questioning himself, everything he's told people. Maybe he's 64 years old, still working hourly as a trainer. He doesn't have the time or the energy to learn anything new. And like, look, I didn't say any of this to him, but I'm painting a picture and I'm creating empathy. This is another human being out there who's hurting. Hurt people. They spew. And when you go, he can't do any better right now. I'm just gonna embrace this for the moment. It creates empathy in me. It drops me down a notch. Whatever my next response is going to be far less than what it was when I was going, oh my God, what do you have, a smoothie shop? And then I was just really factual. And I was able to, it's not about him. It's about putting myself in a place, but the way you get there, empathy. And then empathy on steroids, forgiveness. I forgive you for hurting me because, whatever. And then I teach a course on that. But that's the fastest way I know. Like when my husband's like ridiculous, he's wrong. The fastest way is to go, this man is trying so hard. Like, he is overloaded by X, Y, and Z, and this is coming at me because he's not his best self. I'm just going to give grace for a moment. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't say that out loud because I'm not giving it to him. But in my own head. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Sorry, before I discuss, there is lunch that's being served out in the hallway here. So,
Okay.
there's also a box lunch.
Full of awesome with that lunch, people.
It's in a box. I don't know how long it's gonna be.
That's what I'm saying.
Fantastic job, that's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you.